Is that thing on? Is it working?
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. We good? All right, we're good. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first edition of Mic Check. We're going to try something a little new here. We're going to sit down with Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Mike Martindale, and discuss a topic or event that is going on within the school district. And so we hope you enjoy this, our first edition of Mic Check. So, Mike, it's been almost a year now since you were named Superintendent of Schools. Lots of things have happened. How's that first year been for you?
Exciting. Filled with opportunity. First year, anytime you transition into a new job, and as I transitioned into the superintendent role, really last February, March, April of 2020, you always have a transition plan and an idea of how you want to transition into that new role and expectations and getting some initiatives up and going. Of course, COVID changed all that. But with that being said, I think how the district, the faculty, the staff, the community, the students, how everyone pulled together to ensure that this school year that we're in happened, and the success that we've had with implementing virtual as well as on-site instruction, I couldn't be more pleased with that. So absolutely, COVID has taken over most of that, but we're getting squared away on some new initiatives and plans as we come into the spring, which I think we're going to discuss a little bit here in just a minute.
About one of those initiatives, and that is the district looking at a potential bond in November of 2021. The school board chartered a bond committee to look at this in the spring. So talk about that a little bit.
Right at our January board meeting, we did ask the Board of Trustees to consider or approve a charter for a bond planning committee for this spring. So what we'll be doing over the next couple of months is soliciting names of stakeholders from throughout the community, from our board members, our parents, community members, to create our bond planning committee. Those ultimately the board would approve those list of names probably around the March board meeting. And then those folks began working and meeting through April and May to look at different possible needs throughout the districts, whether it's facilities or those types of things, to consider and ultimately recommend or not the need for a possible bond. And they would make that recommendation or not to the Board of Trustees to consider probably this summer around July. Now, all of this ultimately, if proposed and approved by the board, would be a bond referendum for November of 21.
So what types of things are we looking at in this bond? What are some of the projects that could potentially be on there, some of the bigger ticket items and some of the not so bigger ticket items?
Well, we had our annual demographers update in December, and we do that every November, December to get an idea of future growth for the school district. And while we're still growing, not as rapidly as we have in prior years, there's really not a need for additional facilities currently. What we do have, though, is, we have 20 campuses and facilities, throughout the district. We still have existing facilities that we have to take care of. So we have some deferred maintenance and some capital projects, some renovations, HVA systems at some of our older campuses, roofing systems, those types of things that are big ticket items that you really cannot fit within the annual general operation budget. We also need to take a look and be proactive with transportation department. We bought a number of buses with our last bond referendum in 2015. So if we're looking at 21, that's 6 years out, that's something we need to revisit and make sure that we are replacing old buses through the course of time. We need to look at fine arts. We also need to be proactive as far as land acquisition. Currently, the district owns 3 different pieces of property. And for a couple of years, we're looking for new facilities or asking the community to consider that. We need to have land to put those things on. So we have to stay proactive with those things. And of course, technology is ever changing. So those are things needed just to continue business and a high quality business.
Yep. And by the way, if anybody's out there has 15 or more acres inside College Station ISD boundaries, let us know. It's hard to find.
Absolutely.
So this bond, Mike, is it gonna raise property taxes?
We have a quite a bit of capacity coming in with our tax rate and our bonding indebtedness due to paying off some bond early, and of course growing property values. So it's possible, but at this point in time, and again, this will be up to the bond planning committee and ultimately the board. The hope is to approach this in a manner to where we can keep whatever requests we bring forward within the current taxing rate that we have on the debt service side for our taxpayers. So I'm never going to say no or never, but our intent is to do this within the capacity that we would have at the time. Thus, if that's the case, then no, it will not raise your tax rate.
So just going forward, kind of a timeline then would be putting together a bond planning committee now through March. That committee would do its work, look at all the projects, see what the needs are of the district, what the committee feels like the community would be in support of, bring that information to the board. The board decides in August whether or not to move forward with the bond. And then between August and November, there'll be tons of information out there for the public. And then, like you said, it'll go up for a bond referendum in the November election. So
absolutely, if they do recommend something, the board approves it. The referendum would be for November of 21, and if it were approved in July or August, then we would spend the rest of that time sharing information with the community.
Thanks, Mr. Martindale, for the conversation, and there'll be more information coming out regarding the potential November 2021 bond referendum. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this video. Our intention is to keep the community informed. And so that's going to pretty much end our first episode of Mike Check. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at chuck@csisd.org. And as always, continued success.